This is Naturally Brown Woman, the natural resource for and about women of color. So let's talk braids today. My hair, of course, is not braided today, but there's nothing like having some fresh braids. You know, when you find that master braider who can just, like work braids like an art and it just lays on your face, there's nothing like that. And braids are so convenient. But the flip side of it is tightness. Oh my gosh, sometimes braids could be so tight. And I'm just thinking there's got to be a better way. I know there's a better way because I've experienced a better way with this young lady right here. Please welcome Prudence on Naturally Brown Woman. Hey, Prudence.
Hello, Tammy. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, it is my pleasure. You've been braiding for a very long time. I think about 15 years
Yes,
in the industry.
yes.
And, I never thought there could be such a thing as pain-free braids. I mean, we love braids. We love wearing braids. So convenient, just love braids. But the tightness. And I'm like, you know, can there be something better? Talk about the tightness.
Well, for braiding, it's all about securing the hair and not pulling too much, and also the amount of hair that you use, the amount of extensions you use on the natural hair. The excessive pulling
Mhm.
and immature way of installing the synthetic hair to the natural hair can cause hair loss. It causes the tightness. Sometimes it's the type of hair used to, because if it's too synthetic, then over time it gets tighter. It doesn't adapt to your hair
Yes,
naturally.
yes, yes.
So tightness contributes to type of hair
Hmm.
and technique,
And technique, and technique.
along with products.
And product. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Because my hair is, been braided so tight. And you love the style. I had like little highlights in my braids. I got them like real long, really
Yes.
nice. You
Yes.
can tell me anything because I just knew I was just cute, with my
Oh
braids.
yeah.
But at night I was taking a spray bottle or all during the day and spraying water on my scalp, putting oil in, doing whatever I could just to loosen up the braids, like massaging, just the whole 9 yards. And I know you've experienced, someone coming to your chair going like, taking a pain pill, right? You're like,
Yes,
what are
and
you
that
doing?
scares me because I'm like, no one should be taking a pain pill to get their hair done. That's not natural, for one.
Mm-hmm.
And two, we're not going to do surgery here. You're just getting your hair into a protective style, you
Yes.
know. So, my philosophy is your hair in braids is like a plant in a pot.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't care for the plant, you know it's gonna after a while die. It's the
Mm.
same thing with your hair. So the techniques I use along with products, which is mostly naturally based products. Dr.
Okay.
Ronnie, she's one of the lady that I get most of my products from, that I use on my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that most of my clients are natural hair, some are transitioning, most of them are their natural hair. So the products we use, we want it to be like alcohol free. It's more hydrating for our hair texture,
Yes.
you know.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So pain-free braiding covers a lot. It covers the products. If it's too much alcohol in it, alcohol tends to dry the hair out.
Mm.
So, it increase all that, the dryness, cause it to break, a whole lot of other, things that we don't want, unhealthy things we don't want for our hair.
Mm.
Along with, also, as I said before, the technique. You have to lighten your fingers, and it's secure. It's about securing the hair in the braid, because the hair is a living thing. It needs to breathe,
Yes.
because it's growing,
Yes. Yes.
so there is no need to be all rough and, you know,
Yeah.
release
Yeah.
the fingers. And it's love too. Put some love in
Yeah.
it. It's like anything else. It's like you taking a shower. You're not gonna go use Scotch Brite to scrub your body. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You're
So
gonna use the
taking
right. you're going to use the right tools, the right, materials that you need.
Right.
Taking time, taking care, pay attention to what you're doing, and also pay attention to your clients,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
different hair textures call for different products.
Yeah, and different scalp conditions as well. Now,
And
I know
different
you do
scalp-
pain-free braids because I've experienced it for myself, and I couldn't believe it when I got up. I'm like, wait, I don't have a throbbing headache right now. So
No.
pain-free, ouchless braids, whatever you want to call it, it exists. The technique does exist. And and you mentioned you're knowing your scalp and not just scrubbing, because I know that you're into hair care.
Yes,
But it's scalp care down there too, that we have different scalp conditions, things that
absolutely,
have to be treated by a dermatologist. So
absolutely.
it's important to know not just the hair, but what's happening beneath, because sometimes the
Absolutely.
pulling of that could actually make a condition worse.
Can irritates it. Yes, absolutely.
Hair type, there's so many different types of hair out there. When you go to the beauty supply store, and you see like walls and walls of hair, but getting the right hair, because not with you, but I have experienced the hair becoming like extremely itchy, just itchy hair that had to be washed or something like that. But talk about the right hair.
The right hair, where I get my hair from, it's a gentleman in Kansas City. He gets his hair directly from Senegal.
Mhm.
So most of the hair in the beauty supply is mostly bulk hair.
Mhm.
So it's more plasticky.
Mm.
Some people say that it feels the same, but I'm like, compare them. It's not the same thing, as well as, although the hair I get is really good quality, for
Mhm.
some people, their scalp is a little bit more sensitive. So what
Mhm.
I do, I soak it, I pre-soak it to
Mm.
get off most of the chemicals off of it, because, they treat the hair with chemicals, no matter if it's natural or whatever it is,
Right.
so I do treat the hair for people that are really sensitive to the chemicals on the hair.
Mhm.
So it goes back to how much money you spend if you're gonna buy
Yeah.
the $2.99 packs of hair versus the $8 or the $10 packs. And sometimes
Yeah.
we tend to do that because we say we're saving and we're being frugal, but then we have to look at what we're getting and how it's going
Mhm.
to affect us, and cheap sometimes it's good, but not for everything,
Yes.
like your
Yes.
hair, when things goes, on your scalp, things are absorbing into your body too, so you have to
Yes.
think about
Yes.
that as well. I go really deep when it comes to the type of hair I get. I'm very specific. So I provide the hair for my clients.
Mm.
And if
Yes.
I directly don't have the hair, I have the vendor to get the hair from, because there's a twist I do, is a natural 2-strand twist. With the
Mhm.
human hair, that hair costs like $60 per ounce. And the
Mhm.
ounce is like this much. You need like 10 bundles, 10 ounces for a full head.
But I bet it's
You know,
beautiful. I bet
it's
it's beautiful.
beautiful. But that
Oh.
hair, you shampoo it and you keep it over time. So
Uh-huh.
it's like an investment, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that hair, I know the vendor to go to get the hair, because you have other vendors that have the more bulkier type that is not the same result. And, so
Yes.
is it's good to know what you're doing and
Yeah.
communicate with your braider.
Yeah. And you know what? And searching for a braider, and of course I do recommend you.
Oh,
When
thank
someone
you.
goes to a braider, what are the type of questions should they ask before sitting down in that chair? What should they know?
They most important, the type of products they use on the hair
Mhm.
for hydration.
Mhm.
Styling gels and jams and those things, those are not hydrating for the hair. They actually dry the hair out.
Yes.
So the type of products they use, the type of techniques, as well as what they want to do first, they want to like do a search like Google,
Mhm.
hear what people are saying about this stylist.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yelp, for example, gives a good example of what you're about to get into,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know and talk about their technique and how they braid. If it's too tight, they'll tell you,
Mhm.
you
You know what? They
and
will, because I've
they
had
will.
some actually say, I have a heavy hand. People say I
Yes,
have a heavy hand. And
yes.
that's my first cue that because my scalp is sensitive, that okay, heavy hand, I can't do,
Mhm.
I just can't because it's just a sensitive type of scalp that I have. So
Yeah.
and the stylist shouldn't be insulted by this, correct? If you
No, they
ask,
should
can you
not
tell me your
be.
products you use? Can you tell me your technique?
They should
So
not be.
yeah, yeah,
Because the client, they want to feel comfortable and they want to know that they're spending their money's worth, you know. And for that too, they will open up to you because I have a friend, she does my hair sometimes and she'll be like, Prudence, I don't know how to braid, not braid tight. I'm like, loosen up your hand. It's the technique.
mm-hmm.
When you install it, you will feel the little pinch, but when you finish installing it, you still shouldn't feel like, oh my
Yes.
God, what have I done? You know?
Screaming scalp. That's what I call it. Screaming
Yes,
scalp.
a screaming. And then if you think of it on a natural base too, like I
Yes.
go back to the plant in the pot, it's like you pulling that plant out of the pot
Mm,
versus holding the plant down, by the base and
mm.
gently doing what you need to do versus you just pulling the thing out, you're
Yes.
pulling the
Yes.
muscles out. No, damaging, that's gonna cause
Yeah.
traction alopecia. That's where the hair don't grow back and it's
Yeah.
all spot that
Yeah. Around the start those edges, pulling those edges
edges,
too tight.
middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too tight.
So it's never right for
Yeah.
you to go get your braids done and do it tight. I've had clients in my chair before saying they like it tight. Well, I'm like, well, I'm not the braider for you. I don't
Yeah.
braid tight, but when you're done, you're gonna be flawless. Your hair is gonna continue to grow, you
Yes.
know. So it's good to be open and it's good
Yeah.
to ask questions. And if you're in the chair and you go to the bathroom to go look at your hair and you don't like it, don't go back and finish it. Just say to the stylist, I really don't like my hair. I don't feel comfortable. Be honest.
Yeah,
And
Bruce, I gotta laugh at that. I have to laugh at that because years ago, when I was back in my 20s, I
yes,
had this lady to do my hair, to braid my
uh-huh,
hair. And the
uh-huh.
first thing she says is, I do not do braid overs. So if it's something you don't like, I don't do braid overs. And you know what? And I'm young and I'm just thinking, it's gonna be fine. But I was wondering, okay, why did she have to say that? Well, when she started
Yes,
braiding my hair, that should have been a hint, right? When she started braiding my hair and I looked at it, she showed me a mirror. She's like, "Do you like?" And the first couple braids were fine. I'm like, "Sure," but then by the time I was like, "Oh my God, I don't like this. Oh Jesus!" And she don't do braid overs. So I did just let her finish it, and that was probably the worst thing that I did. And
never
I was
ever do that.
yeah, it was
Yes,
I was
yeah,
it
never
just did
ever.
not work. It was
Yeah.
not for me. And yeah, so I know that whole thing of if it's not working, then just
Mhm.
cease and
Yeah.
desist.
Absolutely. Like even with my clients, because it's not everybody that's gonna really love you because you do
Yeah.
painful braiding or you are an excellent braider. There is always somebody that is still not gonna be so comfortable,
Yeah.
and I can feel it. I can feel them, the little darts going on in their head. I'm like, okay, are you comfortable? Do you
Hmm.
like? Are you sure? I said, are you telling me the truth? you know
Yeah.
so it's good to talk about it,
Yeah.
let your throat chakra be free you
Yes.
know
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Now, Prudence, what are some of your favorite go-to styles? We're in a pandemic time right now too, so people are, wanting to wear braids and things like that to kind of protect their hair as things
Hmm.
begin to open up. What would you suggest as a good go-to style for people?
So my go-to are these that I have in right now.
I love those.
Yes, these you can get them wet. You work out with them. You don't have to worry. You shampoo. All
Ooh,
you have to do is just hydrate. You don't even have to dip it in the hot water. These are
yeah.
called spring twist.
Spring
And
twist. Okay.
again, he's finding the right hair too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because some of these type of hair, they're really bulky. You see, this still looks natural, right?
Yes.
Some
Yes.
of the others,
It
they
does.
don't look so right, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So never because you want to be cheap, you go, okay, I have this hair and I buy this hair already and I paid $2 for it.
Get what you pay for.
I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm not gonna use that hair on your hair because
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
healthy for your hair. Your hair won't be able to breathe properly
Yeah.
to grow.
Yeah.
you know. So this definitely the spring twist. And also you said braid styles, right? Not their
Mhm.
natural hair, right?
Yeah, to kind of put something you
Braid,
want to protect your natural
yes.
hair with so you
Spring
kind of,
twist, kinky
yeah.
twist any day.
Mm,
And not forgetting the good old box braids.
mm, okay.
Yes. And the
Okay.
Senegalese twists are the ones that don't really, they get old faster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a two-strand twist with a roll, with a tighter roll.
Prudence, before we wrap, you've been braiding for, like I said, for about 15 years. What's your
Mhm.
passion behind braiding? I mean, there's so many different styles, and I just think braiding is really, in my opinion, really a beautiful work of art. That's the way I
It
see it.
is.
Just a work of art. What's your passion behind braiding?
My passion behind braiding, it brings my skill out as well as it brings the true me out, helping my clients, be beautifuler. Because when I'm finished braiding my client's hair, dip it in the hot water and put the finishing touch on it, and you look at them, I'm like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And you look at the client, you're like, oh my God, I did that. Even when they come back at the 3 week line for their touch up, like,
Mm.
did I do their hair? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I love touching people, and I touch them in helping, my clients bring out their beauty. And not
Yeah.
only like in their hair, but when it's somebody saying when your hair is done, your personality is out, you want to smile more, you want to do a selfie, you want to send your picture to your friend, so this
Yes.
is what I'm looking like today. I'm feeling myself, So I love the fact that, it brings my art out.
Yeah, yeah. And seeing
And
that beauty in women, seeing women shine from the inside out,
yeah,
and knowing that you had
yeah,
a small part in making that
a
happen
small
for
part of it.
them, and they're enjoying
Yes,
that moment of,
yes.
just something different that they're loving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As well as they spend like 3.5 hours minimum with me in my
Yes.
chair.
Mhm.
It's a good ground to share,
Yes.
because I'm pretty open. I
Mhm.
said to God, listen, I'm a vessel, use me. This is my
Mhm.
skill, but people have issues, and people
Yes.
want somebody that they trust, that they can talk to,
Yes.
without bias,
Yeah.
somebody to listen to them.
Yes.
I get that feeling all the time, and it warms my heart to really touch someone, or even the person, they don't have to say anything, just being in the environment and the calm, and it's just the spirit or the vibe, as people would say,
Yes.
of the environment,
Yes.
you
You know
know?
what? And I remember coming, when I came to you to get my hair done, uh, just sometimes you want people to listen to your stylist. The men have the barbershop, women, we have our
Yeah,
stylist, and it becomes a very personal relationship in a very short
yeah,
time, because you do
yes,
spend hours and hours, with your braider and in that chair.
absolutely.
So you want a very calm environment. I think one time I had pulled out my laptop and I was working away, but just to be in an atmosphere that if I needed to do that I could. But
Yes,
so Prudence, thank you so much for spreading the love, for sharing the love today.
absolutely. Thank you.
For giving us
Yay.
tips on braiding and what not, just tips on pain-free braiding. So, Prudence, how can we connect with you? How can people find you?
So people can find me at braidstylesbyprudence.com.
Braidstylesbyprudence.com.
Yes,
Guys, if you want pain-free braids, please check out Prudence. She does excellent work in a very calm, quiet environment. You're going to love it. Prudence, thank you again for sharing with us on today.
yes,
And God bless you and Godspeed in all that you're doing. Thank you for being such an
absolutely.
inspiration to us all. So
Yes,
proud
thank
that
you
you're a woman
so
of
much.
color.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
You're welcome. You're welcome.